Well, he was 18 and for quite a few years he'd been involved in drink and drugs and got himself sort of mixed up with the wrong crowd really. And I think he was just really depressed, and one day he went out after having a bit of an argument and he didn't come back, and we thought maybe he'd just gone off to a friend's house just to cool down after the argument. But in fact he'd actually gone off and sort of jumped in front of a train. As time's gone on, I feel a lot more guilty now, and I'm finding it a lot harder to deal with now than I did sort of 3 years ago. I think maybe we didn't really deal with it properly at the time. I suppose as time goes on it does get easier, like the saying says, but it's like how we were talking the other day, how your heart, before Ollie died, it was complete. And if something made you happy, then you could be like 100% happy because your heart is complete. But now that Ollie's died, there's a piece of your heart that's always going to be missing.
Things have changed, and as I've grown up, it's got easier to talk about it, and I can explain what I want to say better, because as time's gone on, I just know what I think now and I'm not as nervous to say it. You just have to try and get through it at first and get up each day and go through it, but then you start to be able to think about the positives that happened before he died, and then you start remembering the good things, and then it gets easier.
My dad died. Committed suicide when I was 13. He suffered from depression for many years and decided that he couldn't do it anymore. And I think that's had a massive knock-on effect. People don't realise the after effects it has, because it was 11 years ago now. And it still affects me massively. Because people have asked me, oh, what happened to your dad? And I always had this set speech. Yeah, my dad killed himself when I was 13, you know. It happens. Move on, get over it, don't you? And just carry on with your life.
It was a big shock, but I knew what it was straight away. Because we'd been through, 3 years of pain with him, because he was unwell. Yeah, he was suffering. He didn't want to be alive. Right. He had attempted to die many times before. He was in the army, and it just, I don't know, messed up with his head. He lost a lot of friends and see dead people and things. That just messed everything up. I don't know. My emotions went wild.
Did they?
Yeah. Life just turned into a roller coaster. I just felt like an outcast with everything. I would close everything in, and then I'd place it in my head, and it'd sit there and it'd build headaches, and it was like a shelf, and everything would sit on this shelf, and then a major part of it, it's in the centre of it, would be my brother sitting on it. Isabel is a cancer like that. I've been seeing since last November. I don't know, she would unmuddle everything. She would sit there try and work it out, my loops and my shelf, and she'd try and work out everything that I couldn't work out. Good's come out of it, even though it's very bad. But yeah, not so. I'm stronger for it, but more resilient. I don't know. It's like normality now. I can joke about it, and it's not funny, but it's just normal.
Often, kids aren't told when someone takes their own life, because it's a pretty brutal thing. But Mum told me straight away, really, because she showed us the text, and it was obvious from that, and so from the start I knew that was how he died. I think grief is specific to everyone, so I mean, really, you do feel alone. There's a lot of things to be angry at him about. Why he did it, why he left, you know. I was really close with him, and sometimes I just feel really angry because I think why it's such a hurtful thing to do. I think you don't want to be you can't expect people to listen to you talk about suicide. It's heavy, but don't push it down.